Sorry about that. How are we doing? Flies are done, thank you. So, me and my girlfriend recently split up. Thank you, that does make me feel better. Turns out we just have different love languages. So I found out that mine is actually acts of service. But unfortunately, she discovered that hers was sleeping with other people. Thank you. But it's okay. You know, I'm dating again, which is exciting. I've actually started dating women that are a lot older than I am, Lynn. Thank you. And it's been going quite well, but it does make a lot of people quite uncomfortable. You know, my dad actually accused me of having an Oedipus complex, and I didn't like that, so I killed him. Who's got an Oedipus complex now, motherfucker? But no, seriously, my dad is a great parent, you know, as is my mum, the sexy minx. Growing up, they gave me a lot of space to kind of make my own mistakes, right? You know, they were kind of very free and liberal growing up, which was brilliant. But it made teenage rebellion very tough. You know, there wasn't much for me to kind of rebel against. In fact, kind of the only thing that was kind of a dogma in our house was my parents are ardent atheists. You know, so my kind of young, wild, rebellious phase was joining the Catholic Church. Which went about as well as you can probably imagine. I remember coming home from school one day to find my dad screaming and shouting in my face because he'd found the Bible that I'd kept hidden in my sock drawer. Where did you get this from? Who gave you this? Did your friends give you this? And I was like, no, Dad. They gave them out for free at school. They gave them out for free at school. That's disgusting. I won't have this under my roof. All of that. He grounded me for a month because he went through our internet search history. Right? Searched PO in the little search box. Scrolled past all the awful, quite visceral porn that I've been watching. MILF stuff, mostly. You know, stepmum trapped in washing machine, that kind of thing. That was all fine. But popewatch.com was too far for him, unfortunately. So, you know, that was that. Thankfully, it was a short-lived phase. You know, I actually lost my faith. Ironically, trying to get into it. I was at a Bible study with Father O'Reilly. Lovely fella. In prison now, obviously. But very pious. Very, very pious he was. Used to shave a crucifix into his pubes. And... Father O'Reilly, he was talking about the Garden of Gethsemane. Now, I know the Jehovah's Witnesses or the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses in the room will know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that don't know, the Garden of Gethsemane is where Jesus went after the Last Supper. And it's where it was revealed to him the entirety of human sin, right? Past, present, and future. And that just made me feel really fucking awkward. Because I was like, Jesus has seen all of my sins. All of my sins. This guy lived over 2,000 years ago in the Middle East, right? He's got no understanding of electricity. He's got no concept of running water. He doesn't really understand what a nuclear family is. So how can he really get the wider socioeconomic context of stepmom trapped in washing machine? The nuance is just lost on him. So that made things very, very kind of, you know, difficult to kind of to pray to. And I actually lost my faith. But post-breakup, I found it again. And I went back to church, C of E this time. I'm not a glutton for punishment. And I walked in and the Reverend saw me and said, "Oh, you're a new face. You're a new face. I've not seen you around here before." I was like, "Yes, no, thank you, Reverend. I've actually, you know, found my Christianity again. I found my love for Jesus Christ." And he said, "Oh, well, brilliant. Like, what changed it?" I said, "Well, I went through a breakup and I realised 3 things." He said, "Oh, what did you realise, Lewis?" And I said, "Weird that you know my name." And I said, Reverend, I realised that, you know, Jesus died for our sins, you know, in an act of selfless love and service. And I realised that means a lot to me, because acts of service are my love language. Okay? And number two, Reverend, okay, is he didn't just die for my sins, did he, Reverend? He died for yours, and he died for everybody's in this room. And there's one thing that I've realised is that I've got a fucking type. And my type is people that service fucking everybody, right? So that's number 2. And number three, Father, what you forget, Reverend, is that, you know, the 10th commandment, it says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife. But what you forget, Reverend, it says fucking nothing about your fathers. Thank you very much. I've been Lewis Hedges. Good night.